stuff. Did you see anything else on there?
Well, I landed. I think there's a bunch of different areas you can land on. Um, and I landed. Yeah, there was like this mining facility, which was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know, man. It's good so far, but like I was saying, it hasn't like grabbed me. Does that make sense?
No, that's fair.
Like, but we were talking earlier too about not everything has to trump the last thing, right? It doesn't have to be the greatest thing of all time. You
Yeah,
know what I
like
mean?
yeah, it doesn't have to be like groundbreaking to be worthwhile to play, and like everybody has to be into it. Not every game is everyone's favorite title every time it comes out.
No, exactly. And it doesn't have to be better than Baldur's Gate, Diablo, Zelda, anything, Resident Evil, anything that's come out.
Hmm.
It just has to be fun. And I am having fun with Starfield. Welcome, everybody. We're talking about Starfield to open the show. Um, it's different. It's just different. I don't know. I don't really have much to say on it at the moment. What are your thoughts? What do you think so far?
So I'm really enjoying the game. I'm kind of have the Tears of the Kingdom experience with it though, where I don't care about the story.
There's a story in Tears.
I have zero interest in the story of Tears of the Kingdom.
Kill Ganon.
Yeah, like, and at that point, I'm like, I don't really want to do that, so I'm kind of just doing my own thing, and that's kind of what
Yeah.
I'm doing in Starfield, where I just go around, and I've met so many like side quests or side missions, I guess you would say for this one that I've enjoyed a lot more than what I have done of the main story in Starfield.
Right. Right.
Just kind of like doing my own thing, existing in that kind of huge universe and galaxies that like Bethesda has created has been more fun to me than like progressing the story.
Yeah. And again, there's no. What's the rush, right?
Yeah, there isn't any rush.
There's no rush for a game like this, too. Wow, Dem Guts, what's going on? Matt Rubin, good to see you guys.
Hey, friends.
Um, Dem Guts says, I miss EGM, especially the pages with the Japanese imports. Oh, dude. Well, you've come to the right place. We're going to get to that. We're just chit chatting back and forth about Starfield. Our thoughts. We've played it a couple days. I think, Will, you've played it a lot more than I have.
Yeah, I'm
It's
about
fun.
40 hours in.
Okay, I'm 5, so yeah. 40 versus 5. Yeah, no, that's good. I'm
There's
looking
so much to
forward
do in it. It's crazy.
I'm looking forward to doing more. As you can see, it's right here. Just was playing it a little bit before we started streaming, but we're here to talk about EGM. Well, Electronic Gaming Monthly was a publication created in 1989. Before there were Starfields and gamer passes and internets.
It's wait. Say that again.
Before there was Starfields and internets and gamer passes.
Gamer Pass.
Yeah, yeah. What? Before there was that,
It's
you actually.
it's not Gamer Pass.
What's it called?
It's
What's it called?
just Game Pass.
Actually, you just actually me? You're
Actually,
supposed
it's
to go
the
like
Game
this. You're supposed
Pass.
to go like this. Actually, it's Game Pass. Thank you. Gamer Pass. Well, that was the Blockbuster thing. I'm so sorry, everybody. I screwed up. Matt says, "Did you take your Tuesday night stream of Starfield down?" Yeah, I did. It's back up. I'm not putting all of them up after the live streams. It tends to mess with the algorithm of a lot of the videos, but everyone wants it, so it is back up there. Yeah, all the hilarious. How do you get to this planet? What button is that? And everybody in the chat's literally
But
telling
that's
me.
content. You should like that's good content for you, right? That's you who you are. That's you playing a game, you learning and progressing. People want to see that.
That's
There's
fair.
nothing wrong with that.
I was watching my friend Ryan play Starfield a little bit, then we couldn't stop playing Fallout 76 together online. A lot better. Well, there you go. Yeah, a lot of people have said they wish that this was multiplayer. I'm not one of those people. I'm glad it's single player. I miss the old Bethesda single player RPG experience. And that's exactly what we're getting here at Starfield. Anyway, We're here to talk about Electronic Gaming Monthly Issue 2. Are you ready to look at this cover? If you've seen the thumbnail, you already know what it looks like, but here goes. Woo-wee.
Explosions.
Woo-wee. So this is 1989. We're still at 1989. Look at this cover, man. It's so good. It's so good.
16-bit games explodes.
We have the Genesis. And then what's that? What's that funny looking one? What is that? What is that supposed
Famicom?
to be? Yeah, that was the prototype for the Super Nintendo, for the Super Famicom. That wasn't even like the Super Famicom. It's the prototype for it.
Huh.
Pretty sweet. The TurboGrafx 16 and the Game Boy. Were you a Game Boy guy?
I was a Game Boy kid. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All my brothers and I had a Game Boy. We got it all for Christmas. It's one of my favorite memories.
Dem Guts Game Fan was another great magazine. Game
Game
Pro.
Fan.
Yeah, remember Game Fan?
I don't.
Very arty. It had a lot of really great artwork in it. A lot of original cartoons and stuff like that. Nintendo Power, of course.
I had to have read it at some point because I
Yeah,
was like all over all those magazines all the
not
time.
Game Informer. That was the EB Games one, right? Game Informer.
Well, they were their own thing before
Right. For GameStop
GameStop bought them, right?
did their thing to them.
Mhm.
Okay. So in this issue, special in this issue, we have Super Mario Brothers 3, Gradius 2, and Double Dragon 2. We can also win an NEC TurboGrafx 16 game system in game. See page 27. I'm entering the contest. That's all I'm saying. I'm entering the contest.
Let's find out where to enter.
Game maps. I love that mug, by the way. That's awesome. Game maps for Mega Man 2 and Guerrilla War. I'm not sure if you need maps for Guerrilla War, but that's fine. Top secret.
Don't you just
tricks and
walk
codes.
up?
Yep. I can't imagine anybody like I didn't even do this as a kid. Like for like a what is it? Like a vertical side scroller. Horizontal? Vertical. Like having a map, it's like, okay, next there's gonna be a screen with a tree. It's like, all right, let's get into it. We have a double spread. Yeah, we have a double page ad from Tenjin division of Tari, who were not licensed to have games on the NES, but they put them on there anyway.
Mhm. I don't understand how that worked.
Well, you had to go under Nintendo's very strict policies, which I think we talked about last issue, where it was you could only produce 4 games a year. That was to ensure that they would have quality. I don't know how Tenjin was allowed to do this, but I do know that when Nintendo got the license and the rights for Tetris,
Mhm.
this Tenjin Tetris was gone. You could not get it.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
it's really still the better one. And as the 2-player, 2-page spread. Tenjin was great. Here we go. The contents. Look at the stains. Authentic stains on the top by the table of contents. That's
That was
great.
a bathroom magazine.
This is not my personal issue, by the way. The cover story is the next generation of gaming, 16-bit super game systems and handhelds. The landscape is changing, ladies and gentlemen. We got handhelds where you can change the cartridge. This is getting nuts now. Nintendo's going to have a 16-bit system. What is happening?
Revolution, an explosion, if you would.
On the left here too. Hey, John, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Double Dragon 2 is heading this way, and yes, it does have 2-player. I don't know if you remember, Will, but when Trade West ported over Double Dragon to the NES, it was only single player.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah, that was kind of disappointing. Though for me, because I wasn't in the arcade life at that point. I was just a wee lad. It was okay for me. But when the second one came out, man, yeah, I was just like blown away, and everybody we were all like,
it was kind of like once you played with your buddy, like at home, you couldn't do the single player again. Double Dragon 2, I think, is better, but
yeah, I'd agree.
Plus, the
I
game's
can't
called
do beat 'em
Double
up on my
Dragon.
own at all.
Was that?
Like beat 'em up games, I have no interest in playing them on my own. I always have to like play them with someone.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun for sure, right? With your buddy. Under that, we have be one of the first to have an NEC TurboGrafx 16 system. And then we have Sega 16-bit Genesis system. And there we can see Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle, which made my top 10 list of all-time Genesis. You can see that video right now, guys, on my channel.
It's a great video.
Thank you.
I already knew you liked Alex Kidd, but
I can't explain why. Obviously, Sonic is a better character. I don't know. Maybe it's the
is he?
hipster in me.
Is he though?
I don't think he is. I think Sonic is way overrated, dude.
I am in
Way
the
overrated.
same boat. I have
Oh, you are?
never
Okay.
cared for Sonic.
Yeah, that first Sonic, it has a place in video game history, of course. Some of them do, sure, but I
Mhm.
just think the precision that you got with Mario, the controls with Mario, they're so airtight.
Oh yeah,
And
way better.
Sonic was loose, and you would get going really fast, and then you hit something, and that's all it was, right? You would just go fast and let go of the controller, kind of thing.
Mhm. Yeah, that's exactly how I play that, right? Like I just run fast, jump, and then be like, "Oh well, hopefully I land somewhere," and then jump again.
Vickman, good to see you, dude. What's up, man? It's been a while. Is Alex Kidd a monkey? I don't know.
He does look
He's
like a monkey. Doesn't he have
yeah,
a tail?
no, but he's got like hair like a monkey. And he kind of has like sideburns.
Yeah, I always thought he was a monkey.
Maybe I know he's a kung fu guy. Did you ever play the Enchanted Castle?
I didn't know. I
So
have not played a lot of
a lot of
those
Genesis.
titles, a lot of Genesis games. Like I was always a Nintendo kid. The first time I made a Switch was for the PlayStation 1. And
Oh
that was
yeah.
because I wanted to play Final Fantasy 7. And I think that was a lot of people's Switch where like Final Fantasy wasn't on
Well, we
Nintendo.
kind of all just expected Final Fantasy to be on the Nintendo console, which was the 64, and Square's like, no, we're never going to be able to put this game on a cart. The cart would be like $300,
Mhm.
right? So they went with PlayStation. I remember that when Square left Nintendo, I was like, oh my god,
That
like
was huge.
yeah, big time. And then we have Super Mario Brothers 3, which I don't think is out yet. No, this is 89. I mean that's huge, definitely. Where are we here? All right. A Data East ad. Bad Dudes makes Double Dragon pale by comparison.
No.
What a terrible lie that
The poor kids who got their copy of Bad Dudes thinking it was going to be anywhere close to being Double Dragon.
it had. When you would boot it up, it had the digitized voice going, I'm bad. It was like, I'm
Ugh.
bad. It's, what? It's pretty cool that there was like talking in it, but it was I don't know. I
No,
okay.
the talking wasn't even good. It wasn't even cool.
No, like Bad Dudes. Come on, man. Let me just throw it out there. I don't really have a particular love for Double Dragon or Bad Dudes, to be completely honest. I think Double Dragon's great. It obviously has a huge place in video gaming history, but I was never like the Double Dragon guy, right? Like, do you know anyone who's the Double Dragon guy?
Mm,
I don't know
not
anyone that
really.
like that was their thing, right?
Yeah. I had more people that I knew that were more like Golden Axe, like into
Yeah,
that type of game than Double Dragon, especially in the arcades.
yeah. But oh my god, look at this! Oh, I didn't even see this. They actually put shot for shot screens. Double Dragon versus. Oh, and then there's all the things that Double Dragon doesn't do are just blanked out. How clever, Data East. How clever.
It's a smart advertisement, even though the game's bad.
We all know, dude, that 9 times out of 10, when you slam the competitor, you're always the loser. Usually happens that way in video games, or when you put quotes. You're
Yeah.
from the developer of Halo. Oh, it was the one guy who like took out the trash, who used
Yeah.
to work at Bungie.
He made the one sound of the rifle, like the clip emptying. That was his
Yeah,
job. He just
yeah.
made that sound. But he developed on the game, so we got to put it in the title there.
Brian, good to see you, man. Welcome to the stream. Will's
What's up,
lying. He
Brian?
doesn't know people. I
It's
think
true.
Will knows one or two people, I think.
A handful
Insert
at
coin.
best.
So this is the editorial. I think this is by Ed. No, Steve Harris. Well, we're not going to read this out loud. As ugly as this looks, I think I said this last time, I do appreciate how wordy the old issues of EGM were, because honestly, I would read this over and over again, and you got so much information out of these editorials. It doesn't look great. I mean,
No.
if you showed this to like a kid today who plays Fortnite or whatever, they wouldn't even look. They wouldn't even look at it. Like
And
even
it'd
the
be interesting to see how it evolves over time too, because it definitely became more picture esque, right? Like than what
yeah,
it used to be.
it definitely became more picturesque for sure. But I think it became too picturesque, if that makes sense. Like it was just. Do you remember there'd be giant screenshots and then just a little 1 or 2 sentences, and that was it. Like
Yeah.
it would literally tell you nothing.
Yeah, pretty much be the screenshot and then a caption.
Yeah. Brandon's here. What's up, dude? He says, "Hey all, Bad Dudes was a great game." There you go.
So you're the guy who liked it.
Brandon's the Bad Dudes guy. There you go. Bad Dudes Brandon. Okay, well, what do we got? What are we looking at here? This is a third-party controller. Another dimension in
Oh,
Nintendo Fun. This is the Joy Card. So
Joy
is this
Card
the Hudson
Sand
Soft?
Sweet SSS.
Hudson Joy Card. Oh, so it is a Hudson Soft controller. I thought it was a half and half ad. That's I mean that's something. You have like a your headphones, remember the blue for the right and the red for the left?
Oh yeah. That's kind of that is a little ahead of its time though when you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Like the first controller I think of that had that headset port was what, the Xbox? Right? Because you used to
I'm
have to
trying to
buy a
think.
headset for the
Yeah.
original Xbox and you plug it into the controller, but what other game controller had like a headset port?
Okay, so let's be fair. We've got to come back to 1989 now. We're making fun of this in modern times. That's not fair. Um, I think you and I are on the same page here, where we've always preferred first party controllers.
Yeah.
Is
No,
that fair to
I
say?
even to this day I only buy first party.
Yeah.
I've just never had a good like repertoire with like third party anything really.
They just I mean, you really do get what you pay for, especially with modern gaming. When I was still working at EB, um, the uh the
Mad
Switch,
Cats?
what's it called? The Switch, what is this thing called? Whatever this controller is, the Pro controller. Anyway, it's like $90 in Canada, and we
Yeah.
had like a plethora of third party companies that were all like 29, 39,
Hmm.
49, and they would get licensed Nintendo characters on them. So Nintendo would license them out, but it wasn't the same quality. Parents
Yeah.
would always do the same thing. Oh, I'm going to get this for little Johnny. I'm like, honestly, spend the $90 because it's going to last 90 times more and it just feels better. And they would always get the third party one, and sure enough, a few weeks later they'd come back. Yeah, this one it's not so good. So
Yeah. And I have heard though for the Nintendo specifically, they have the Power A like third party brand, and apparently they work alongside with Nintendo and they're supposed to be better.
oh really?
I am too scared to do it, but I've heard they're
Yeah.
good.
I would rather pay the $90 and get something that's gonna last. I mean this joy card thing here, it just kind of looks
Yeah. But
weird.
like controllers are super expensive now. Like I just got these ones in. You can see there. So like the Spider-Man 2 for the new game coming.
Right?
And
That's
like
awesome.
this was $100. And then like the Starfield one as well too.
That's cool. Oh, I love the
There.
rainbow. That's
Hmm.
neat.
But still, like that's another $100. Like both these controllers, like they're all freaking expensive. I can't really blame somebody for going to another like third party company for a fraction of the cost, especially with kids.
Brandon says, ever have a third party NES controller with slow motion that just toggled pause annoyingly? I've played with one, yes. I've played with a fair share of third party controllers. A bunch of buddies used to have those, right? I think when 64 came around, we were a little bit more lenient with buying the third party ones, right? So it
Mhm.
was like if you came over to play GoldenEye or Mario Kart or whatever, it's like bring your controller because if you don't, you're gonna play with the Joy Card and 64 one, and you know what that's gonna be like. It's missing two
Yeah.
buttons and all that.
I always had the friends that had like the third party second player controller, and it was like the N64, and it was the one without like the outside handles, so it
Yep.
just looks like the middle handle. So you're like holding it there, and it's just I don't know. It looked like a dick, but
Yeah, and I remember there was one my buddy got, and it was like vac metalized gold, right? So shiny gold. It's
mm,
like, oh, for GoldenEye. It's like, but it played like absolute garbage. I mean, it looked cool, but no, I forget. Can you read these okay or not? Or is that too small?
I can't. Hold on.
Is that pretty small for you? Again, it's a lot bigger for me because I have it in a separate window. But if it's too small, I can just read a few. No worries.
I can zoom in. Yeah, I think we're okay.
Okay. Will and I are gonna just call out a couple. These are letters to the editor here, so we're gonna read out a couple. Go for it, buddy.
Chip shortage, true or false? When Nintendo says there's a microchip shortage, is there really a lack of chips, or is it Nintendo holding out on us? Most of the really rad titles like Super Mario 2 and Ninja Gaiden, I don't know why he separated Guy and Den, but I'm doing it, are never in. Honestly, what's up? Let's
That's from
see.
Chris Logan from Kansas City. All right, Chris.
Yeah. You thinking it's like a conspiracy that Nintendo's holding back product? You know, actually, that's still a thing that happens today. Everybody thinks that Nintendo withholds products to inflate demand, right?
Well, they're just smarter than most companies. They bring out a set allocation and make sure those all sell, and then they go to the factory and make more. It's being smart, is what
Mm.
it is. I don't
Yeah,
think
it's
they.
like conservative. You're not overproducing, but you're just making a conservative amount, and then you just make more as needed. I think that's
So
smart.
the editor says, while there is a chip shortage that currently has a stranglehold on many companies like Nintendo, it is not entirely to blame. Many of the quantity problems come from Nintendo's strict allocation program. There you go, which allows them to designate which games are good and deserve a million plus runs and which are not so good. Wow. I didn't know that. It's interesting. Whether or
Huh,
not you see your favorite Nintendo game on store shelves depends largely on the grade it receives from Nintendo. Dude, did you know that?
I didn't know that,
I
but
didn't know that
that
either.
kind of validates what we were saying.
That's very cool.
Good
Hey,
on them.
Elise, what's going on? Brandon, I'm thinking of. I'm sure you've seen The Wizard. Remember the guy when they're going to enter the contest at the end? The guy who's taking the names. He's like, Ninja Gaiden. Hi. Remember that guy? Anyway, it reminded me of that.
Does he do the
uh,
karate chop?
something like that. He's like really kooky looking. Like his eyes are going one's this way, one's the other way.
Uh,
He's like the whack. It not the host guy inside, the guy outside, right?
yeah,
When they're trying
he's
to, yeah.
he's yeah, he's selling like those games or whatever.
I don't know. He's
Right.
out there.
That maybe have to one we have to go back and watch.
That could be our next film. That could be our next film review.
I thought we were doing Double Dragon.
I was hoping you'd forget. I have not seen Double Dragon, so okay, we'll do Double Dragon next. Never, Brandon, you got to see it, dude. It is like it's my favorite video game movie. I think it's so great. Okay, let me do one here. Wants info on the Mega Drive.
Mm.
I really want to thank you for such an excellent game magazine. I've particularly enjoyed your articles on the 16-bit game systems. Your May issue did a great job of providing info on all the new systems. I called Sega. I called Sega to find out more information. What? You just can't call like a corporation. You get Sally on the phone.
This guy did.
Sega Sega Enterprise is going to help you. Yeah, I just want to know more about the Mega Drive over here. What's going on with that? Oh, well, I'm
Listen,
glad you called, Arthur. I'm going to tell you that it has this, this, and this.
we're gonna send you over to the product development manager, and he's gonna talk to you directly just because you called.
Dude, that is so hilarious. I called Sega. Anyway, hey, good for you, Arthur. I know I can count on you people to get the inside scoop. Thanks again for the great magazine. Keep up the good work. Arthur Albano Jr. from
Sorry,
California.
Arthur.
Do you want to read the editor's reply?
Sure.
I think it
Uh
goes down and then up. This is
oh
like,
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
it's a long one. What a super guy. Thanks for the compliment. We try our best to give info that is up to date and always the cutting edge of what is up and coming. Looking for the complete story on the Sega 16-bit Genesis system, Mega
Mega Drive.
Drive, the Genesis Sega 16-bit Super System, which will be marketed by Sega themselves, not through Tonka, as well as all the other great new gaming products coming soon, including the NEC TurboGrafx 16, previously the PC Engine, the Nintendo 16-bit Super Famicom, and the Nintendo handheld Game Boy. This is hot info that you won't find anywhere else. So remember, when you want the first word on the latest gaming developments, turn to us.
Boy, we sure did. They were so right. Because this would have been at least, I think we talked about this too last time. This would have been at least 3 months,
Mhm.
2 or 3 months before they would have had to gather all this information, man. So EGM was right on track. Okay, we're gonna
They're
skip.
great. And like this was the only way to get information back in the day, right? Like it's not like we could just
Yeah,
like Google up things and like it is today. Pull out our phones. We had to wait for the latest edition of
like the editors
magazine.
and the reviewers in this magazine, you really got to know them through the print, through over the months and years, and you really
Mm,
got there's like you picked your favorite. Like Sushi X was a huge favorite of ours, right? And
yep.
Show in later years in the 2000s. Where are we? 89 game power from Bandai. So here's a few games from Bandai. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, as made famous by James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd. One of his first classic episodes.
Mhm.
It's like hailed as like the worst NES game of all time. It's terrible.
I don't think I've ever actually played it.
It's almost unplayable. You get hit so randomly and so constantly. You're just dead, dead, dead. It's stupid. I don't think I've played any of these. I don't even know what Street Cop is. Did that even come out? That doesn't look familiar to me.
I played Monster Party just because I remember when we used to do our hunting for like NES games and stuff like that. I picked up a
Yep.
copy of that for like dirt cheap.
Monster Party.
Oh, what
Okay.
is it?
Athletic World. Xevious or Xavius. Golf Challenge Pebble Beach. Interesting. All right, moving on. Here we go.
So interesting. Oh,
Now, this page is really faded, but if you look at the game reviews here, and it's funny that these were at the beginning, they later on very quickly actually moved them to the end, which was like the Christmas morning of the magazine, right? You wanted the reviews
hmm.
and they were at the end. So you could see there's Steve Ed Harris, who's the creator of EGM, Don, I don't know who that is, and Jim. But if you look at, they just have a little small paragraph. It's just a few sentences. There's a 7, then a 7, and a 6, and a 7. It might be hard for you guys to see, but the score is actually in the print. Can you see it?
Nope.
Very faint.
Oh, okay. Now I see it.
Yeah,
I was
see, look
actually
at,
reading the text, but yeah, it's behind it.
it's behind the text, yeah. And I think it's just like
Oh.
if you look at Dawn's for Iron Sword, you can see the 7, the tail of the 7.
Mhm. Yeah, I see it now. There's eight,
Yeah.
8, 7, 7, 7, 8, 7, 7.
Okay, so look at this. We have release dates. The type of game it is. Let's look at Guerrilla War on the top. It's a shooter released May 31st, 1989. Levels of play 9. Difficulty average. Interesting. I wonder how they came to the decision of a difficulty.
Base it off of Contra.
Yeah, I guess.
I feel like Contra would be like Contra and Ninja Gaiden would be like up there as like some of the toughest NES games, right?
I would say without the code, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, without the code. So there's a little bit of a write up for each of our guys here. So Steve, Ed, Don, and Jim. So Steve, I'll just read one of them. Steve, the editor of Electronic Gaming Monthly, prefers to play high action games like R Type as well as adventure. What contests? Adventure contests? Okay. Like Mega Man 2. While Steve is an avid fan of both the NES and Sega, the new machines like the TurboGrafx and the Game Boy are his favorites. So yeah, through that, man, they're see how their taste changed throughout the months, and you really got to know each guy. It was really cool.
It's something that we were talking about a little bit before the stream started about how like there's that whole controversy lately about Starfield and people upset over review scores. And it seems like a lot of people actually don't read a lot of the reviews anymore, and it's more just the score that is given that really they concern themselves with
Well,
more.
with Metacritic, right? That's
Yeah,
the.
Metacritic's definitely ruined it, I feel.
I mean, I don't know if you know this. You're on my streams all the time, Will, my gaming ones. I've said that this is the year that I've stopped watching reviews, which I have, and it's made me enjoy games so much more. And what a great year to pick it, because there's been so many great games. And I got to tell
Oh
you,
yeah.
there's nothing against reviewers. I'm just saying, for me, without having that pre opinion installed into my head about what X Gamer said, right? I just go in fresh. And even after, I don't even watch reviews either. It's really great just to formulate my own opinion, you know what I mean? Instead of having
Mhm.
to worry about what others are saying.
I kind of like the I wish more publications would do it where it's just strictly like we recommend this game or we don't recommend, right? Like here's my
Yeah.
views on it. I like this game. Maybe you should check it out if you like A, B, C, D.
Well,
But
there's so much to it. If you're looking at something like Starfield, I mean, first off, do you like Bethesda RPGs?
oh,
Because
that's a huge caveat, right?
this is a Bethesda RPG through and through. So if you don't like those in general, you're not going to like Starfield. Do you know what I mean? So there's
Mhm.
so many components, and there's so many different things that would just why you would like it or why you wouldn't like it. It's not as like, oh, the gameplay is bad, this is bad. It's like if you have a history of Fallout, a history with Elder Scrolls, you're most likely gonna like this regardless, right? Because you like
Yeah.
that style. I don't know. I just don't think reviewers.
Yeah, and like I think a lot of people got to remember like it's an opinion, right? These people are basing it off their own
Yeah,
feelings and judgment, right? So like what you were saying over there about like if you liked Bethesda games in the past, you'll probably like this one. I'm kind of the opposite because I haven't enjoyed any of the Bethesda RPG games.
right.
Um, like Fallout 3 was the closest one I did, and it took me 4 times to actually just get through that game and just do the story. And I was like, all right, I can see why people like that. But I've never got into
Yeah.
any of them. But Starfield itself has captivated me. So
There you go. These, I mean, I don't want to. I'm not making fun of games back then. I mean, this is history here, but I mean, it was a little bit easier, I think, to review something like Guerrilla War or Iron Sword, right? Than it would be like 100+ hour game. Like
yeah,
Starfield is.
that's fair. The games are just so more immersive.
So Fester's Quest, they gave 5, 5, 5, 5. This page is a little bit brighter.
That's fair.
Mega Man 2, hailed generally as the greatest of all the Mega Mans, got 8, 8, 8, 8. That's isn't that crazy? I
Eight,
thought
it's unplayable.
yeah, I thought for sure that like this should get a perfect score, should it not? Potato Cat, hello. How you
Don't you
doing?
start that
Welcome.
here, Jay.
Welcome to the stream, man. Cutthroat's here as well. Good to see you, brother. Mega Man 2 is one of the best games I've played in a long time and has a perfect blend of action surprise that is usually seen only in a game like Super Mario. The first Mega Man was a sleeper hit, but this one is even better with plenty of new enhancements. Highly recommended, but it's only an 8. I
Yeah,
don't know,
but
dude.
like, okay, to be fair, there probably was some talk about this too, because this is like what their second print, right?
Second issue, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, to throw out like a perfect game this early into the publication would probably make people question a lot of their decisions. Like, are they actually going through and playing this game? Like, are they really like nitpicking it
I
enough?
always wondered that. Like, do you have to finish it? Do you have to beat the game in order to be able to come up with the review?
What do you think? Like, what's chat think? Do you guys think like if you have to finish a game to be able to review it yourself, or like do you have to put in like X amount of hours beforehand? Like, what would you guys think would be a good kind of way to review a title?
The General 56, welcome. The General says, Willie.
What's going on?
Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out with us. Potato Cat says, hey, Will. Hey, Jay. Good to see you. Um, Cutthroat says yes to both. I don't think you have to beat a game.
I don't think so either.
I've never thought that. I think you have to give it a fair shake. You have to progress a little bit in it to understand the mechanics of it, right?
Yeah, like if
Before
you
you
boot up like Ninja Gaiden and die in the first stage for 20 minutes and be like, all right, I'm going to review this, like, I feel like that's probably not good.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So I think, you'd have to put in a decent amount of time. I would say 3 or 4 hours. I'd say at least 4 hours to be able to get a grasp on it. Actually, that's a lot of time for some of these games. I mean, Contra you can get through in 30 minutes if you really want. Three Stooges, look at this. 6, 8, 6, 7. That game sucks.
8. Wow.
Yeah,
And a 7.
that's Ed. I think that's Ed. Yeah, that's Ed. That's my guy. 8. What do you say? Three Stooges is
That's my
oriented at
guy.
the older crowd that can appreciate the slapstick humor. For us older gamers, this game is a riot with nonstop laughs and entertainment. The digitized graphics are exceptional, and the sound effects are the best in any Nintendo game released.
Mm.
Oh my god.
Well, to be fair, that game does have those bigger character models that you like.
It does. And there's a lot of like close-ups on the
Yeah.
digitizers
See,
on there.
this is suited right for you. That's what you wanted growing up, isn't it?
Brandon says if you can't beat it, it sucks. Not my fault, and it loses points. I don't like very difficult games. Demgut says Final Fantasy 3 probably got a 9. Cutthroat says Resident Evil is hard, so 8 game controllers for me. All right. Moving on. Adventures of Lolo. I was never a fan. Operation Wolf. Oh, I hate that game.
You never liked Adventures of Lolo? I really enjoyed that.
No.
Even as a
There's like
kid. I don't know. Something
3
about
of
the.
them on
Yeah,
NES.
there was a bunch of them.
Yeah. Look at Cubert. This is a good translation of the original arcade Cubert game. There's not much to say. It's Cubert 4.
Well, you know what? I give him props because, like, if he didn't like Cubert and it's the same thing, be like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, it's Cubert. I don't really care for it. And
And
that's
I mean,
fine.
as far as like the golden age of arcade games go, Cubert was never one that I get it, right? It's a little bit different take on Pac-Man. It's 3D.
I never
Never
understood
was
Cubert.
I was never like a Cubert guy. Were you?
Mm-mm. I tried it as a kid playing it, and I never understood what to do. I die, and I just like pop it out and be like, whatever.
It's just kind of one of those weird ones.
But there's
Uh
people that like. There's a lot of people that like Cubert, dude. People that like Cubert like Cubert.
oh, for sure, for sure. Potato Cat says, "Damn, they really gave Cubert a 4." Yeah, who was that? That was Don and Jim. I don't know who they are. Konami's version is good for Cubert, but it's too old. The graphics are all right, but the game doesn't demand too much. You have to like Cubert to like this game. Game's
Yep.
too old. Come on, man.
But that's the thing. What do you expect for Cubert? Like, you know what Cubert is if you're going into it expecting anything different.
Yeah.
That's like saying like, oh, they brought out Pong again. Yeah, it's Pong. This, yeah, whatever.
Mappy Land, Flying Dragon, and how do you say that?
Hide lied.
High Diddle and
I
High Diddle.
okay. Gamer
Dude,
pass.
look at the Flying Dragon 4. Just another karate game. Wow, that guy earned his paycheck. Is that Jim? Look at that. Dude, like he was
I
actually allowed to turn that in and they accepted it.
I love that though.
You
Like
like
I
that,
feel
really?
like instead of going into a lengthy wordy thing, you can see that he just another karate game. Like you know he just didn't care enough and enjoy that game that he wanted to put any effort into it. I think that tells it like a lot.
Fair. That's
Like
fair.
I see somebody doing a review and like they give other reviews like big descriptions and stuff, and then it ends up like that. I'm like, yeah, that game must suck.
So High Diddle. Look at the 6-2. I can't remember what this game was about. That's all I have to say about High Diddle. Highlight.
That feels like
Yeah.
my life. I don't remember anything. Yesterday, what did I do?
Moving ahead. There's lots of reviews here. Alex Kidd in the high tech world. 5777. That's about right.
What about that 5? You want to read that one?
I was not overly impressed with Alex Kidd in the high tech world. I loved the first Alex Kidd game and felt that the second was much too of a kiddie game. The third try at Alex Kidd doesn't have enough action in this action in the action scenes, and the whole quest is slow and tedious. Not much fun. Jeez.
It's one of your favorite series. How do you feel about that?
Look at that too. Levels of play they don't even know because they didn't even get anywhere in it. They're just like I don't know, like
Uh,
5, 4. Hey,
like
Shauna, how you doing?
the Galaxy Force, though. Nope, garbage.
Uh, I don't like how it doesn't say who makes it. Well, they say it sometimes in the review, but it should say as one of these stats here who makes it. Reggie Jackson Baseball, Galaxy Force. Is this for Master System? Blast
Yeah.
into orbit with Activision's fourth release on the Master System. There you go. Brutal. Really rad. Outrageous. It's taxing. Everyone's like,
I think we saw
who?
this in the last one.
Who the hell is taxing? Well,
Nobody cares.
Taxon made Fist of the North Star, which is an anime. They made an 8-bit game of it. Mappy Land, Mystery Quest, and Star Soldier.
Yep.
Anything. But again, look at this ad. It's great. Look at all the words. Nothing that you love more as a kid than to read all this stuff. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just me, I think.
As me as a kid, I'd just be flipping through until I found something that caught my eye.
Kickmaster Taxon. Is that a game? Dem Guts? It doesn't sound familiar.
Kickmaster Taxon. What?
What is this? Oh, the next wave of games coming out.
Oh. Double Dragon 2.
They did the first Joe
Revenge.
game, yes, and Capcom did the second GI Joe game. Double Dragon 2 The Revenge. So this is a double spreader. Yeah.
Double
So
spreader. Double Dragon, double the spreader.
this is literally just all text.
Yeah.
I'll just read the bold here. Double Dragon 2 The Revenge has plenty of new features like spectacular scrolling graphics and giant animated game characters throughout. I mean,
Sold.
it's a video game.
Look at they're doing that like Superman font again with
The
next gen
multi-layer
graphics.
scrolling in the background back in the day, that was like, dude, your game was like the crap. It was like the absolute best if you
Yeah.
could do that.
Yeah, because it gave that like false like 3D depth, right?
Yeah. Kickmaster was an NES game. There you go. Super
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball. One of my
Oh,
favorites. One of my
this
favorites.
game's so good.
It's awesome.
I feel it's such a great game, and I feel like nobody ever like talks about it when you
So
bring up
good.
like old school NES games.
The US team in this with Sam as the team captain, he's the one who had the bullet as the special. He would do his special, and it was literally like a bullet. It would just like go through everybody. So good, man. This game is so underrated.
They had a version of it for the Game Boy Advance, and I played the crap out of that too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think, yeah, that was this one, I think.
Yeah.
Because that's when Game Boy, or sorry, when Nintendo was bringing games back and kind of
Yeah.
making them like 16-bit-ish, right?
Yeah, they just like updated the graphics and stuff and added like the power moves
Yeah.
were like a lot more flashy.
Brandon,
kinda
you
moved
never
away
tried
from
this. You got to try this one, dude. It's one of the best NES games.
So good. Oh my God. I could play this game for hours.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Had like that River City Ransom kind of look to it.
It's the
Right?
same kind of graphics, yeah. Next wave games coming out. We have POW, Thundercade, and Super Dodgeball. Developed by the brains behind Double Dragon, Super Dodgeball brings all of the fun and strategy of the backyard game up to a professional level in a challenging contest of skill against some of the nastiest video game athletes around.
Dun-dun.
Based on the little screen arcade sleeper of the same name, Super Dodgeball is divided into several matches that place the US team, which you represent, against pro teams around the world. So good. I remember seeing this specific shot here with the Statue of Liberty too.
Mm-hmm.
And just thinking like, oh my God, they're playing on top of a skyscraper. So good.
Ah, man, I want to play that now.
Yeah, man, it's good. POW loved that Rambo game. Yeah, this was much better than the Rambo that came out by Acclaim. Was it
Oh, I thought
Acclaim
they
or
were saying they
LJN that made
actually.
Rambo? I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was LGN.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up. Cheating.
I'm gonna say Acclaim. But it sucked. I mean, You wanted to be John Rambo. You were going side scrolling here and there, and you were like knifing butterflies and like dogs and stuff. It was just it was terrible.
Oh, you're right. It was a claim. Oh, that game's so bad.
What that is. Oh, here's I think this is rapidly becoming one of our favorite segments. The new breed of joystick that does it all. Oh, it's Bishu again.
Bishu just
you
had like their kid draw Gizmo on the controller.
Picture yourself, chat. Christmas Day, you're by the tree. You see a kind of medium-ish box. Great, it's going to be the NES Advantage. You open it, you don't get that. You get a Bishu Gizmo, and then you hear the Price is Right fail noise out loud, and you're like, "Oh my god,
Oh, that would be so. Oh my god.
dude, look at this thing!"
That's what all I'm picturing is like the developer of that controller is just like, hey, Jimmy, I need you to write down Gizmo in your fancy school writing for me. Kid just draws it on the controller. He's like, that's great. This is gonna sell millions.
Look at the design. You're so right. They're trying to be edgy and like, oh, this is like graffiti, but it's just it's like his son or whatever just wrote that on there.
Oh my god, that's so awful. That's the worst controller I've ever seen.
Brandon says that's why I buy my own presents. Christmas presents. Yeah, dude. I I'm so lucky. I got an advantage. I don't think I ever got any third party ones. I remember a few poor souls that were my friends got a couple of those third party ones, man. Oof.
I
There's
really don't.
remember there was the NES ones that were wireless. They
Oh
never
yeah.
worked. They lasted for like 2 seconds, and then they were like dead.
To be
I
fair, like even like I don't know, a lot of those peripheral things, even the power glove, I could never get that thing working as a kid.
It's cool to have in your
Yeah.
game room as a piece of history, but it's terrible. Bishu, the New Jersey manufacturer of high action, what's a high action joystick? Has long been known for disappointing kids around Christmas for decades. That's what it says. Has long been known for a leading producer of quality peripherals for every game system on the market. Now the
Have
folks at
they?
Bishu have their sights on a remarkable new joystick that's sure to leave the competition in the dust. How much was EGM paid to write this, dude?
Yeah, like who could you imagine somebody was had to write up this article about this and then they get to send a picture of that controller?
Yeah. Like they would have had Bishu, right? Bishu, yeah.
That's how I see it. Yeah, yeah.
Bishu would have had to send EGM this, right? So they could have it hands down. Like each staff member probably got one. They're like, "Well, I'll give you guys a controller and like $500 if you just write a new nice article about this." I don't know. I, I feel bad for any kid who had that. I really do.
Oh my god.
Thundercade. This is American Sammy Corporation, another gaming company that just vanished. American Sammy. Wow. I haven't said that since I read this issue when I was a kid.
I don't think I've ever seen this game.
Thundercade. Simultaneous two-player arcade mega. Oh, that's an arcade game. There you go.
Huh.
Oh, okay. Dominant force is coming. Next oft Corporation.
We used to have that VHS.
Yeah, let's go down to the bottom one. Do you want to read this one? Seeing is believing. Do you remember these?
Yeah. We used to have one of these in the store we worked at together. There was a
Go for it.
DVD edition of this though.
Do you want to read it or do you want me to?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can you
Sorry.
see it okay?
I was looking at it. I was reminiscing of no one ever buying it.
Yeah, that's Snake. Well, that's Metal Gear, Life Force, and Contra. Oh, so is it all Konami? Oh, wait. Anyway, read.
Right.
Sorry.
Up until now, if you wanted the hottest video game secrets, you had to pick up the latest copy of Electronic Gaming Monthly. But now, thanks to MPI Home Video, you can get the complete scoop on over 24 top secret tips with their new video cassette tape, secret video game
Wait, whoa,
tricks,
whoa, 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 whoa.
codes,
Are
strategies.
they slamming their own magazine here?
It does kind of sound like it. They're like, "Oh, why read this crappy magazine when you can get it on VHS?"
I can't help but to think this is another paid
Probably.
sponsored ad for these guys, which is fine. I'm just saying your second issue and you're already discrediting yourself and saying, well, the future isn't magazines, the future is these pre-recorded VHS tapes. Anyway, sorry, continue.
And to be fair, if you think about it now,
Yeah,
that's YouTube.
yeah, not wrong. Not wrong.
That's everything now, right? Like we don't really have there's magazines that are still printed, but everything's on YouTube that you can look up and watch videos of nowadays.
Yeah, that's fair.
This 1 hour instructional video has everything you need to know to blast past hot games like Simon's Quest, Life Force, Contra, Double Dragon, Metal Gear, and more. The fast paced program shows you how to perform hidden power ups, level selects, and continues, as well as locations of hidden rooms and ways to pump up your score like never before. Oh, God.
Dem Guts is asking, didn't Game Pro have a VHS series with codes? Hmm. I don't remember. Do you?
Game
Trying to remember if Game Pro had a. I don't remember Game Pro tapes. No.
I know, like, a lot of them at one point, especially, like, the PS2 nope. Starting in the PS1 era, they did a lot of, like, discs, right?
Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah. Well, I
remember
remember
VHSs.
the Xbox official Xbox magazine was the first
Yeah.
one that comes to mind. They would always come with a disc, but that was actually like the official Xbox magazine. But
Yeah.
as far as publications, I don't remember. But I would like to know. Yeah, if you guys know, let me know for sure.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I do remember these VHS 22 games, hidden rooms. That's pretty cool. I mean, if you had this back in the day, this would have been something that would have been on loop. I never ever did have one of these, but I always would have it playing if I
Mhm.
did. But I don't remember ever seeing these for sale anywhere. But that's pretty cool.
That is neat. I don't think we need to read the rest, but if anyone
Super
wants to call
content.
that order, you can call on there to order it.
Oh yeah, you can call if you guys want. There you go. There's the number 1-800-338-7710. Call now. Video game contests. So this is a dodgeball contest. See, that's cool. Nintendo's 4-player combo. The
Gauntlet,
Nintendo
Super
Entertainment System
Sprint.
is a great machine that can duplicate the fun and excitement in the arcades in many ways. One of the shortcomings of the system, however, is limited number of players that it can accommodate at least in it. Oh, is this talking about the four score or the satellite?
Yeah, whatever that, like, edition thing was. I can't remember what it
Yeah,
was
the
called.
satellite was remote, and I think the four score was plugged in. I think something like that.
Mm.
But I never had any of those. There was only a hand, just maybe one or two games. There was play action football that used the four players, but nah,
I
no
remember
good.
seeing it in magazines, but I never actually owned one.
Gauntlet was fun, Brandon says. I think I made it around level
Gauntlet's a great
90.
game.
Dude, that's amazing. Yeah, Gauntlet is great. It's one
There
of
was
the
that,
first.
oh, go ahead.
I was just say it was one of the first quarter eaters that I ever played. I could never find anyone to play that one. You should have two players, but you could do four, right? Gauntlet,
Yep.
or was it two? Is it four?
I feel like it was 4. I feel like that was the big trope of it. It was like 4 players for it. Because like even the ones later, like my brothers and I, we got into I think it was Gauntlet Legacy, and it was on the original Xbox, and like that was 4 players.
Right, right.
We played a ton of that.
Well, we both have that midway cabinet. It's on that. I know that for sure.
Yep.
But they only have the two controllers. I'm pretty sure I remember it being four player.
Well, on the previous page, it did list Gauntlet as one of the ones where they're talking about the four score thing.
Oh yeah, okay. Like Gauntlet, for instance. Cool. This page is cool. This is a bunch of like just swag you can get.
I love these things. I wish like some of these I wish I could find again. Like that
Yeah, like
like
look at
cartridge tote bag and
the friggin' artwork on the lunch pail for Super Mario.
Mhm.
The
Those hats.
raincoat, Nintendo Rain Slicker, yeah, the hat. Those hats are sick. Those are almost like trucker hats.
Look at the prices on those, man. You can't find a hat nowadays for those prices.
Yeah, look at the green Zelda
99.
one. Oh, if you wore that to school, you get punched directly in the face. It would be great. Legend of Zelda. Nerd. Get out of here, nerd. Like, ah.
Yeah, go play football because
Now it's like Zelda. I'm a gamer. It's like, yes, so is literally everyone on the planet. Anyway, moving on. Maybe we should try calling that 1-800 Toy Club. They've got to be
I think they're
around
still
still.
around.
Oh, of course. Why wouldn't they be?
I
Oh,
kind of want to Google it, but I feel like it's going to come up with something else.
go for it if you want. It's the Ultimate Game Club. Oh, maybe better not Google that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Might be
I'm gonna be
somewhere
on.
else.
I'm gonna be put on a watch list.
Brandon says cartridge organizers, VHS organizers, cassette organizers. It's great. These things, dude, like these little pieces of plastic, and that's all they were, that housed your NES games. Oh my god. Like I felt like when I had one of these in my bedroom, it was like my own apartment.
Mm.
Like it was like, you know what? Everyone puts books on their shelves. I'm gonna put video games. Did you do that, Will, back in the day?
Yep.
God, I got made fun of so badly because all my bookshelves, not one book on them ever. Toys and video games. Everyone, you're a loser. That's for books. I'm like, you're right. I am a loser, but that's for games.
Yeah, the funny thing, like, we have like a little sitting room out front here, and we have like it's supposed to be like our little reading nook, but
Yeah,
the shelf is completely full of just video games.
dude, bookshelves are not. They should just be called toy and game shelves.
Yeah, this just reminds me of like the Wizard when Lucas pops out that like case, like
Yes, the
throws
black
it down,
case.
it opens
Yep.
up, and it's just like video games. It's like all these NES games.
Demgut says had to look up the GamePro VHS. There are a few on YouTube. Awesome.
Hmm.
That's great. I'm gonna have to check that out. Like not to be confused with the Game Pro show with JD Roth, right? That's different than what we're talking about, I think.
Can we watch
Brandon
one of
says they
those?
really tied the room together. They sure did, man. They sure did. I don't even know what this mess is. Oh, these are games. Buy, sell, trade.
My old man eyes can't even read that print. What the
That's
hell?
brutal. I'll only read a couple of these. Gaming gossip by my favorite, the
Oh,
Quarterman.
guys.
Hey, boys and girls, Quarterman here with the latest gossip from the video game grapevine. In this issue, you'll find exclusive info into the wonderful world of electronic gaming, including juicy stuff that most of the industry doesn't even know about yet. I can't wait to see what the other mags have to say.
Dun,
Shots
dun,
fired. Shots fired. Both NEC and Sega have announced spiffy new names for their next generation game machines. NEC has come up with the very descriptive TurboGrafx 16, while Sega has come up with the colorful title of Genesis. Well, the lines have been drawn. We'll wait to see which system takes command of this 16-bit market. Dude, this is so crazy to read this.
Mhm.
It's like reading like history books before like a big war was coming. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Well,
when you know what's going to happen, but
yeah, like I hate it, but like this is like the beginning of like the console wars, right? Like when eventually kids pick their sides. I'm a Nintendo guy. I'm a Sega guy. I don't know when it was a TurboGrafx,
and
but
let's be clear, nobody wanted to pick a side, but the fact of the matter was most of us didn't work yet.
yeah,
I mean, I don't think I worked. Maybe I did, but I would have just began working. I remember playing Genesis at my aunt's, so I wasn't working yet. But yeah, so my point is you had to go to mom and dad and say, okay, you really got to think, do I want to play Super Mario or do I want to have the new graphics of this Genesis and play with characters that are gigantic? Like you could only pick one,
mhm.
right?
Yeah, yeah. You couldn't afford all of them, right? Yeah, it'd be tough back then. And I could understand it back in the day, but it angers me that people are still like super into console war type mentality today.
Oh,
It's my pet peeve.
Mo, good to see you. I'm not gonna read this one out loud, Will, but look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one down. I just don't want to read that out loud, but if you want to glance
Three,
over that,
four,
that's
five.
interesting. Starts with
Engine and Nintendo.
yeah. Don't read it out loud. I don't know. I don't want to say that on stream, but
Mm.
that's interesting, right? We were just talking about that.
Oh,
I'll read one more. In other news, Game Boy, Nintendo's portable game machine that can be best described as a portable arcade, is attracting a lot of attention from major third party licensees. No wonder Nintendo plans to sell 5 bazillion of the LCD cartridge game systems. In a somewhat related story, Epix appears to have. Who cares? That's interesting. So this is before Game
who
Boy,
cares?
before Genesis, before TurboGrafx. Like this is literally before the Clone Wars. Oh my, black and white dad. Hey Packers, what's up, buddy? Packer says hi, Jay, Willie, chat peeps. Cheers, cheers to you, my friend.
Also, what's going on, Jeff? I don't think you said Jeff. Hi to Jeff.
Mo, good to see you, dude. Yep, I missed you.
Why do they have
Enter,
like the sideways ones?
I don't know. It's the way they're scanned, I guess. Well,
Enter
what
and
is
win a turn.
this? Paperboy.
Ah, my neck.
My old man that can't look that far. It's too late. Enter.
John
Here you
Elway's
go.
quarterback. Yeah.
This was as promised on the cover. Enter to win the incredible TurboGrafx 16 from NEC. NEC's new state-of-the-art super game system will be here soon. But thanks to your pals at Electronic Gaming Monthly, you can be one of the first to play this revolutionary new machine absolutely free. Simply fill out the contest reply card and send it to us. One lucky gamer will win a TurboGrafx 16 and the games. Enter today, William.
I'm in. I still have my TurboGrafx here. It's in a box, but I still have it.
So good. Enter
It's such an
to
underrated system. Like
offer
everybody
win
talks
one
about all the
birthday
other
gift.
ones, but nobody ever talks about TurboGrafx. I feel.
Matt says, I remember Marble Madness. Yes, the arcade one had the trackball, like Golden Tee, I guess would be a good example of that. Yeah, that was fantastic. You know, there's a Golden Tee one up.
Yeah, we almost bought it. Ashley wanted to get one.
That would be pretty cool. I'm not a golfer, but I think that'd be fun.
No, but those games, something about them with like that trackball and like you spin it and stuff. Those are always so fun.
Yeah, 100%. At the arcades
Oh, is this
from
about
Russia with
the?
love. So this is the Tenjin version of Tetris.
We went over that a little bit already.
Yeah, Tenjin had the 2-player. I think it was better graphically than the one Nintendo ported over. But oh god, everyone wanted to be this kid. Look at this cool dude.
Airwolf.
It takes more than guts to command Airwolf.
Was Cabal the one with the platform at the bottom and you kind of hit the ball up at the blocks? Is that the same
No,
one?
Cabal was like Operation Wolf. It was a
Oh,
2-player. Think about level 2 in Contra, that
yeah.
perspective.
Oh, okay.
It was like that. Yeah, Cabal was great.
Arkanoid. That was what I was thinking of. Never mind.
Matt says, yeah, I had it on NES. As for the TurboGrafx, it wasn't very common around my parts, nor did I ever know about it until it was off the shelf. Yeah, because they used the same business model as they did for the PC Engine in Japan, which was to market it at the corners of Japan. Like every corner of Japan, they would market it. You couldn't get it everywhere. The problem is they use that same business model with the US, which is 4 billion times bigger.
Yeah.
So you couldn't go into any city in any store and find the TurboGrafx. Only selected retailers had it. Huge
Such a
mistake.
shame.
Yeah.
There's so many good games on there. Like Blazing
Dude,
Blazers and
it's
Bonk and Victory Run.
Splatterhouse.
Courage. Splatterhouse, yeah, of course.
Keith Courage, yeah, Splatterhouse, Bonk's Revenge, Air Zonk, Legendary Axe,
Mm.
just Ninja Spear, just so many great games. Hoops, I don't know, I never played this one. In Your Face, the most realistic rendition of Round Ball ever.
I think kind of was that movie White Men Can't Jump? Is that what they're kind of trying to mimic here? It
That
reminds me of that cover.
yes, but that movie, there's actually a movie version of that game for the Atari Jaguar.
Oh, oh, is that the first person one?
I don't I don't know. No, that you're thinking of the Scottie Pippen one by Digital Pictures.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, this was an actual like game, but it was like based off of that movie, but it's on the Jaguar. It's just like ugh.
Every
Here's a
time we've tried
cover.
to play your Jaguar, it never works.
It doesn't. It doesn't work. It's still to this day, it's so finicky.
Probably hitting it in the wall that one day to
The
charge it up.
simulation chair for the Conix Slipstream system offers increased game interaction. Oh boy.
The hell is that? It looks like it has like a boat motor on the front of it.
That would be your TV. That would be your TV. Uh, I mean, that's a concept art. That's concept art, I think.
I guess
Yeah.
like they do have stuff like that today. So I guess all right.
So this, I believe, is just oh, the war is about to begin. I'll just read a bit of this. After successfully invading Japan, we are about to witness the first wave of next generation gaming on these shores. Manufacturers are promising enhancements over the current field of systems Nintendo, Sega Master System, Atari 7800. Well, that didn't really happen until the 90s. Graphics, sound, and play are nothing less than incredible. And they're not wrong. Thi-
That's. I guess if you walked into somebody's house and they had a setup like that, you'd be like, "That kid's freaking cool." Also, probably super rich. But
like this time period too, up and through, I would say until I think 64 was the last generation where Japan would get the systems first.
mm,
And usually the Japanese systems was called something different and it looked aesthetically completely different too, which was so awesome. So as a gaming like fanatical collector that I was, I would get the Saturn that was tan because it was Japanese, then you would get the North American one that was black. But
yeah.
Japan would always get game systems first. And is it weird that I kind of miss that? I think it's a little masochistic of me to say that, but I kind of miss that.
Yeah, but it's Japan's an entirely different market nowadays, right? Like, from my understanding, like consoles don't really sell tremendously well in Japan anymore because everybody's mobile. So like it's either phone stuff or like handheld gaming. That's why like the Switch has done so well over there, and it was a smart move on Nintendo's part because that's all they do is just handheld gaming.
Well, that yeah, and you'll see that with the new Nintendo. Like there'll never be a 3DS again, right? They took the
Yeah.
3DS and they took the Wii and smacked it together, or the Wii U, sorry. It brilliant to put two systems into one. Yeah, and I think what PlayStation has one coming out, right? We'll see how that will do.
I I
We
don't
know
think
the
that
track
thing's gonna do well
record.
here.
We know the track record of the Vita and the PSP.
Yeah, but okay, so have you looked into the new PlayStation one?
No, no.
It's a remote play system. So that means it hooks up to your PlayStation 5 and you can remotely play whatever's on your PS5 on this device.
So
So
it's
you
the
don't take it out of your household, you just carry it around within
so it's
the
Wii
home.
U technology basically.
Essentially, you'd hope it's better because I remember having some issues with the Wii U. But maybe it'll do well in Japan. I just don't see what it's really marketed as. It just seems weird to me.
It seems like it would have been pretty cool maybe like 15 years ago when iPhones first like remember in like 2008, 2009 if you had an iPhone,
Mhm.
you were like
Oh
you were
yeah, that was the big thing, right? We
you
all
were
used to.
awesome. Like everyone had Blackberries and stuff like that, but if you had an iPhone it was like, "Oh my god, it was miles above." I think if they released it around then, sure.
Yeah, because you can buy those. Sony has one. It's a controller adapter that you literally just plug into your phone now, and you can actually remote play from your phone to your PlayStation 5.
Matt
So it
says
does the exact same thing.
it's like a Steam Deck.
Mm,
Yeah.
hmm, hmm.
Just my 2 cents. I have zero interest in something like that. I'm so old school. I sit and play on a TV, and I always will. Even with the Switch, It's very rare I take it off the dock to play it downstairs or something. I don't like. I've always liked gaming on TVs, even back here.
Mm,
Maybe it was because the Game Boy was so difficult to see. I
maybe.
didn't care. I wanted to
Yeah, the
play on
screens
the
have
big
changed
TV.
since the Game Boy. Just saying.
No, they haven't. Come on, really? Remember being
Um,
remember being in the car trying
oh,
to
that was the
play it and you
worst.
had to wait till like the street light? Or
Yeah, I do remember
if
that.
you're at an intersection at night in the back seat, you're like, "Oh, this is wicked, man. I can play like 10 seconds." Yeah.
Yeah, just like pause it every time it like goes black. Or you'd have that stupid. So we used to have one of these adapters, and it would have a light that would shine on the screen, but it also had like a magnifying glass on the front too. So you're looking through like a bowl into your
Uh
freaking Game Boy.
Angry Video Game Nerd does a great episode on the Game Boy attachments. And when you attach the battery thing, the magnifying glass, the light, the thing ends up weighing like 50 pounds. And they each take like their own like C batteries. And it's just like this enormous like generator that you're
Yeah, you can
holding.
power
It's like
your car while you're going.
pretty much, man. Pretty much. What's your opinion on portable stuff? Like if you're playing, let's say you're playing Tears of the Kingdom,
Yeah.
you play it on your TV or do you take it off the dock and like hold it on your lap on the couch kind of thing?
So for me, I like having the ability to do both. So when I played, I don't play my Switch a whole lot. So it really takes like a Nintendo title to pull me out to get to be on the Switch. So when I played Tears of the Kingdom, I played it mainly on my living room display. But when I go to work, because I work 12-hour shifts, I was like be able to take it off the dock and just carry it with me was a great thing because then I could just have it on my breaks. And that's why I really like the Steam Deck because, like, with my Steam Deck, I get all my Steam games I could just install and play, and I can take it to work. Or I go upstairs, and because of the cloud saves, I can literally like play down here, save my game, go upstairs, and it's immediately on my Steam Deck, and it's the same save file.
Your mic's going a little quiet here and there, a little bit.
Oh, weird.
There we go. So you like portable gaming? It doesn't bother you, like you don't
No,
mind it. Yeah.
I think it's a great like it's just gaming on the go. It's great, and then when they make it more accessible and easier for you to carry off where you were at home and just take it on your way, I think it's even better.
The Switch is perfect for that, right? You
Yep.
literally just take it off. You don't even have to hit a button and put it right back on. It's great. Packer says this football ad was legendary. Do you remember this? This is John Elway. Let me think. Okay, John Elway. Who did he play for?
Asking the wrong guy on this one. I don't
John
know
Elway
anything.
played. I want to say Indianapolis, but that's wrong. He played for the Broncos, right? Packers. You can tell me. He was a Broncos quarterback. Denver Broncos. I think so. Anyway, this was legendary. This was a time before you could have both licensed teams and licensed players in your games. You had to pick one or the other. If you had the teams, you would have San Francisco 49ers, but Montana, it would just say 16.
Mhm.
Other way around, if you had licensed players, you would have Joe Montana. Like Tecmo Bowl for NES had licensed players, but not licensed teams. Mo says Broncos. There you go. Matt's got it. I got it right. I got it right. Well, I said Indianapolis at first, but I corrected. I remember it was Broncos. Wink, wink.
I heard you say Broncos.
There you go.
Yeah.
16-bit system preview. Here we have the TurboGrafx and the PC Engine right above it there. Again, the Japanese versus the North American design is quite a bit different.
I think the North American one in the end was a lot better though.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. PC Engine, I like the black console. I like the black TurboGrafx. The
Like the
PC Engine's
size,
okay.
it's big and sturdy. That one seems like it's just like a little flimsy piece of plastic.
Yeah. They both use the same kind of cards, which TurboGrafx had the little Hue cards, which were like little credit cards.
Oh, so
Dude,
cool.
like the future is now. Remember holding these things? It was like you would hold a bulky NES cart and then you'd have a TurboGrafx game, and you're like, the future is now, man. It's going to be these cards.
Yep.
Wrong.
And then nobody had it.
Well, I guess the Switch is kind of like that, right? This little thumb card. Similar, but
It's very similar, yeah, because it just uses the same type of contacts that were on the TurboGrafx carts, right? Those little
yeah,
gold things.
just little contacts. Yeah. It's really too bad that the Turbo didn't do better. It was such a
There's a lot of great games on there.
great system, and I think it's only gone up in value. And there's a successor to that called the Super Graphics that I think has only 6 games, but at the time, do you remember Super Graphics?
I remember reading about it, but I never ever saw one. And I
It
still
looked like
haven't
a
even seen one.
it kinda looked like the Jaguar. It looked like a GI Joe toy or like a tank or something, but it had the arcade perfect translation of Ghouls and Ghosts, which at the time was my favorite game on Genesis, and I wanted it so bad. Super Graphics never ever came here. Obviously, if the Turbo Graphics failed in North America, they're not going to bring it here. But that game, I think, only had 6.
That's crazy.
Super Graphics, Matt. Yeah, check it out. It's a very small system. Again, I think the complete library is 6 games. Only launched in Japan. And here's some. Oh wow, look at this. Turbo Graphics peripherals. I don't know if. Oh, the multi-tap came out.
I
PC
have
Engine, right?
not that one, but I do have the official multi-tab for my
Well,
Turbo.
that's the PC Engine one, right? So it's
Oh,
again
okay.
different
Different.
looking
Yeah.
than
Yeah, the one I have definitely looks way different than that one.
the Turbo Tap is great. Yeah. Computer add-on for the PC Engine could possibly be made available for the TurboGrafx 16, making your game machine a full-fledged computer. Not.
That was the thing back then, right? Like everybody wanted to have a home computer and you could do everything. Man, I remember the old movies where you could like do anything with your home computer. Or at least they made it seem that way, right? Like I can buy my tickets online and it's just
Yeah.
like
Packers, I think Will and I can both answer this. I'm always curious what your next toy purchase or wish list is. Ooh,
hmm.
that's a good one, dude. I'll give you a second to think about it, Will. Uh, I guess current stuff. I'm always on the lookout for the current wave of the Indiana Jones 6-inch from Hasbro. For whatever reason, in Canada, I see the retro figures, the 3-inch retro figures, but I never see the 6-inch ones. I secured a Temple of Doom indie, but that was my buddy found it in Calgary for me. So I would like to continue on the whole sets. I've always loved Indiana Jones toys. So that's
That'd be a
really
cool pick,
that
yeah.
and a few Masters Universe classics. The classics are fantastic, but very expensive. So I'm always looking out for those ones. What
Mhm.
about you, Will?
Uh I think right now, I don't know why, but I've wanted to get one of the Power Armor Fallout helmets. I have a
Oh
few
yeah.
helmets throughout the house. Like, oh wait, I have this one. I have to replace the battery in it, but like I have like the Doomslayer helmet.
Oh, dude, that's wicked.
And then I have a few other ones. Like I have a N7 Spectre helmet as well too from Mass
Oh
Effect.
wow, that's cool.
I just feel like I need another one to be able to like put on the shelves.
Yeah, the prop replica helmets, those could get pretty pricey for sure.
Yeah, I saw one at a store actually today, but they were really busy, and I was like, I don't want to bug them to go ask about it, so I had to wait.
Yeah. Well, there you
But
go. You can get one if you've found it. Yeah.
yeah, I think the next immediate purchase though is the Spider-Man 2 Collector's Edition because it has that 19-inch Spider-Man statue where they're
Yeah.
Spider-Man and Miles are fighting Venom.
That's coming out soon, right? That game's
Yeah, like end of October.
okay. So a bit of time. I still have to get Baldur's Gate on PS5. Packers, I want to know what you're grabbing. Mo says, fun fact: John Elway did not want to play for the Baltimore Colts and held out for a trade to Denver. I didn't know that, man.
Hmm.
That's sweet. Matt says, I get so mad. I had Masters Universe, Snake Armor He-Man, Tila Battle Cat, Molar, and Skeletor, and a few others. And my exes gave them away. Ah, dude. Sorry to hear that. Classics, I still think Masters Universe Classics is the best He-Man toy line of all time. It just is.
Really?
They brought out absolutely everybody.
I like those new ones that they brought out for the Netflix series.
Yeah, there's the Masterverse ones. Yeah. Yeah, I do classics here or there. I treat myself like you're looking at an average of like 150 bucks for each one now.
Oh,
but they're pretty cool. Packer says, "Thanks, guys." Will, wow, those helmets look expensive.
yeah. At the time, they were a lot of the stuff I get is always like secondhand stuff. So sometimes I can wheel and deal with people. I think I only paid $100 for that Doomslayer helmet, honestly.
Brandon says, "Nice, Willie. Made my own PA helmet from stuff from the Spirit Halloween costume. That's cool." Brandon's a huge Fallout fan, like
Yeah.
huge.
I just like so I've never been into the games really much myself, but like the power armor, I just think is really cool. And it's definitely like an iconic like gaming piece.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, the power armor helmet from what's that faction anyway? It's been a while. That's the Brotherhood of Steel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Brotherhood helmet's like that's so great. Yeah, I would love to. I would love to have like a big statue of one of those power armors. That would be sick.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So a few hit Turbo games here. Legendary Axe, which went toe to toe with Ghouls and Ghosts for Game of the Year of 1990. Victory Run, which is like Outrun. Vigilante, or typical side scroller beat 'em up, where you actually have to rescue Madonna, which is hilarious. And then Keith Courage. And then there's the Genesis. Yeah, as soon as this bad boy came out, it was not over for Nintendo, but I mean, let's look at some of the
It
games
gave
here.
them some real competition, which Nintendo needed, right? Because through the NES era, like Nintendo was the top dog. Like no one competed with Nintendo.
Yeah, this screenshot here will always be burned in my brain. Altered Beast at the top. We have the Master System version, and then the Genesis version, and then you could see it was like, oh my god,
Yeah, it looks
like
great.
because Altered Beast did come out on Master System. You could just see the difference, and you're like, yep, this is the future. Like Altered Beast was pretty much almost arcade perfect.
Rise from your grave.
Yeah, so good. So good. Brandon says, yeah, the power armor is totally stolen from Warhammer. Yes. 100%.
No,
100%.
man, they have that
There's
new Warhammer game coming out, Space Marine 2. I'm excited for that.
yeah, our buddy Zero, who's usually in the chat here. He's huge Warhammer guy.
I don't know much about the Warhammer universe. I just know the video game stuff, but I really like Dawn of War back in the day. I played the crap out of Dawn of War 1 and 2.
The Telegenesis brings the modem control into the world of video games. This was a thing, but I don't think it was very successful. And then we have Alex Kidd. Great stuff here. Oh, look at this. I want this prototype. I want it. The amazing Super Nintendo.
What do you think one of those would go for if somebody were to find one? And the
Uh,
odds of finding it in the wild now, like, well, you probably wouldn't ever really see it here in North America. It'd be more of a Japan thing, I feel.
I mean, Game Cycle in town had a Super Famicom not too long ago.
Yeah, but like this is the
This is a
prototype, right? Like how
prototype.
many
This
of
would
those were
be
actually out? Like some of those probably went to journalist publications, right, to get like early access to try games and stuff before the final release was out.
any of these that exist in North America will be in like some kind of museum for sure. I don't know that. I'm just saying. Like, I mean, even look at the cartridge. It's just a blank cartridge, right, to show you the shape. That's awesome. I think that is better looking than the actual Super Famicom and the Super Nintendo. I like the red. They kept with the NES colors. I like that.
I like the gray and purple on the at least like separating the buttons on the controller.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Maybe it's just because I have like the nostalgia of the Super Nintendo, but I like the North American Super Nintendo.
You like the North American better than the Japanese one?
Yeah.
Do yeah. Packer says Genesis NHL game changed my life. My buddies and I would play nonstop. The Blood on the Ice was excellent. Swingers, remember Swingers Packers '95? Vince Vaughn. They play NHL before they go to the clubs, dude. That was so awesome. Yeah, NHL '95. Our local game store Microplay had NHL '95 tournaments every Wednesday, and a buddy of Will and I's who lives out west now. He would go there. We'd go and watch Darren. We'd go and watch Darren play and absolutely dominate everybody
He's so good at those games.
as he often does, and everything he does, he's really good. When he likes something, it's like that's it. You can't beat him. NHL 95 was great.
I never played those on the Genesis, but the Sega Dreamcast had the 2K hockey series, and that was my favorite. Still, probably to this day, favorite hockey game was I think it was 2K. Say 2K5.
Yeah,
Three?
I think the 2K that was Sega's
Yeah,
in-house studio. Yeah.
my dad and I played so much of that on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, there was like that was back in the day when you were getting big athletes to sponsor. Again, you would have Mario Lemieux hockey on Genesis, for instance, right? That was like their big hockey guy. But you would just have like teams like Pittsburgh, Toronto, Edmonton. Like you wouldn't have the Oilers, but you would
Mhm.
have all the licensed players. You'd have the NHLPA, or you'd have the opposite, where you'd have the actual teams and logos, but the players would just be numbers. So cool. I think 95 was the first to merge the two. 94, 95 was the first year NHL had both the Players Association, and the teams as well.
Nice.
Vestin Pants. That's an awesome name. Thank you so much for the sub. If you are in the chat, appreciate that very much, my friend. Nice pull with the Swingers reference, dude. Vince Vaughn, John Favreau. It's like the best.
I don't think I've
Anyways,
seen that movie.
you never seen it? Oh, dude, it's
I'm
so good.
trying to think of it. I may have to look it up.
It was when the whole swing revolution came back in the 90s. So the grunge music movement was ending and everyone got back into swing. Remember swing dancing? Like
Kind of.
cherry poppin' daddies and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, it's really good. It's a good movie to watch with buddies before you go to the bar.
Mm. Yeah,
Pocket Arcade. Sorry?
95, I would have been 8.
Not now. I haven't been to the bar since the 90s.
I'm scared of the bars now. People invited me to go out, like, oh, let's go like downtown. I'm like, I'm good.
Zoot Suit Riot, you got it, Matt. We had a Canadian, or we still have a Canadian artist named Colin James who is big into that kind of stuff. Handy Game Machine Game Boy. I don't know what that means. Yeah, so these are actual screenshots. Look at the left, the bottom left. That's Super Mario Land. And you know what? I'm going to give it to EGM. That's an accurate portrayal of what it looks like because that's
They
how dark
definitely
it is.
just took a like a Polaroid. You
Yeah,
can see like
the lens.
the lens on it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Huh.
great. I mean, I'm not gonna slam it. The Game Boy was absolutely revolutionary. Up until this point, Nintendo had Game and Watch, which was just LCD images that would fade in and out. You could only do so much. Um, but this was the first game console portable that you could interchange the games. Just an absolute game changer.
Great system. Like other than like the the technical difficulties with the screen and everything, like there were some great games on there, and be able to take them around with you was huge, especially as a kid.
Will B Shoes back,
Oh,
baby. Remember the Zoomer that was in last issue?
I thought we were over with this. Bishu had enough already. They already had one ad.
Point pounding for your
It's a
what?
Commodore symbol.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, it's a Commodore.
That's commerce. Okay. Um, I mean, yeah, I guess. B Shoes. Gee, I wonder who sponsored this magazine.
That looks better than their Zoom. What was the other one called? Gizmo?
I don't know.
The one that we saw with the freaking kid writing the name on it. I think it was called Gizmo.
It's a Cherry Pop and Daddy's J. I thought this was a G-rated stream. Oh God, hot stuff controller. Okay, somebody in chat, do me a favor. If you're watching this on your PC and you're able to open up another tab, please do me a favor. Go to eBay right now and search for hot stuff controller for the TurboGrafx or for the Commodore 64. I want to see what these are going for. This has got to be like the ugliest thing of all time.
Those look exactly like the arcade sticks for the Commodore. Though. They just threw colors on them. So we used
But
to have one, and it was like gray and red, but not
you
like the
know,
Bishu. But
it's gonna be terrible. Like you can just look at the plastic and you just know it's gonna fall apart. Look, dude, these things had 4 suction cups on the bottom.
yeah, all the okay. So the Commodore 64 stuff, even the regular, like the official Commodore one, still had suction cups on the bottom. That was just like a
Wow.
trait of the Commodore
That was just
controllers for some reason.
you could tell I never had computers at all in the 80s ever.
Yeah. That's like my first like gaming experience was on a Commodore 64. My dad had one and like you had to
Wow.
get like you had the big freaking floppy disk, you put it in and then no, I guess those would be the hard disks, sorry.
Right, right.
And you'd have to do like the load asterisk, command prompt to get it going, but yeah.
Oh my god.
It was cool.
Internet
Felt like a
international
hacker.
outlook. Oh, well, you know what? Remember when the Commodore Mini came out a couple Christmases ago? I was gonna
Yeah.
snag it. I never did. Then it got recalled. It was like,
Should have
oh,
got one.
yeah. And now? Not. Ed Simrad, my man, international outlook. So these literally, ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing the very first screenshots of Super Mario Brothers 3. This page, I'll never forget it. It's just so incredible. And you could tell once again that this was like a just someone taking a picture of the screen with their camera, right? Which is again, I think
Mhm.
how you captured footage back then. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
we were
sure.
talking about this last time. Like, how
Yeah.
else would they do it? I can't really think of another way for them to really do it.
Cheapest is $8.99. Most expensive I found is 1,600 US. Thanks, Matt. $9, Will. You can have a piece of not so amazing gaming history. Chad, what's up, brother?
Go on, Chad.
Thank you very
Ooh,
much
from
for the
Disneyland.
super chat. Yeah, he's in Disney.
Ooh.
He sent me the message if I wanted any Star Wars loot. Chad's in Disney. Hope you're having fun, buddy. He tunes into the stream even though he's in Disney. Like, God bless you, brother.
Look at that guy. What a friend.
Appreciate the super chat, dude. 100%. Have fun. Have fun, man. Let me know how Star Wars Land is.
The happiest place on earth. That's the thing they say there, right?
Yes. And if you don't think that, like they it's happiest place on earth, right? Like, yes, just don't whip me in the eye again.
Whip it into you. Gaston comes out of the corner and takes you into the basement.
And then have Kylo Ren walking by you with the pre-recorded lines that are so awkward. Look at
So
these
you're not the
screenshots of
happiest in the
Mario
world.
3. Do you remember seeing this? Like the preview? Like, what's this card game in the corner? What's this match game? What's this 5-up with the big star? I remember just being like, oh my god, there's treasure chests. Dude, like this is on another level.
Face game and the card game, man. So as a kid, it's so anxiety inducing.
And the chests too, remember? Going on to the later levels, like level 7, I think, is where you got the Tanuki suit. It's like I gotta pick the right chest, man. I can't blow this. And of course you just get a star or something stupid like that.
Or you get the frog suit.
The frog suit, great. It's useless, but it looks great. I remember you would work your way all the way up to level 7, get the Tanuki suit, and what would happen? To me, at least. 5 seconds into the level, boom, hit. Gone.
You don't turn into the statue? That's how you can
No,
avoid
you do,
getting
but I'm
hit.
just saying, like, I would just be like, yeah, I got the Tanuki suit. I'd run and hit a turtle and gone. Like, oh.
Like the
Well,
kid that got a new toy. Ah!
That was all for nothing. Gradius 3. Sorry,
Gradius is so
2.
good.
2. Yeah, look at the bosses. Look at that skeleton and that phoenix. It's wicked. Life Force, another gem on the NES that people don't talk about a lot. I don't
It's
remember.
Konami, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't remember if Life Force took the place of Gradius or Gradius became what was Life Force. I don't remember. It's essentially the same
Gradius
idea.
is still made, right? Like they have
Yeah.
I think it's just digital ones, but they do have copies of Gradius that are still coming out.
Prepare to compare. Oh my god. The U Force versus the Power Glove.
Both awful.
Yeah, the U Force I've never had the pleasure of playing around with. That's the bottom left.
I've only seen the AVGN episode about it.
Yeah, a lot of fun to watch him play it. I don't think the U Force will be fun.
No.
I mean, nobody used this thing. Is there anybody in chat who would ever want to use anything like this? So the U-Force, you see, it looks like a laptop almost, and they're playing Punch Out there is the game. And like with the Power Glove, you're just doing this. It's a lot of waggling with the Wii.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that with my
But the
game.
thing is, like, we even had a better version of it with the Xbox Connect, and nobody still wanted to do it. Like, it was a cool novelty, but eventually you're just like, no, I just want to sit down and play games.
The Love Glove, you pervert. This is G-rated. Packers said so. No, this I don't know, Chad. If you know what the U-Force is, it's this laptop-looking thing, and your hands go over it, and I guess there's like infrared sensors that's supposed to pick up all your movements. It never worked right. And for something like Punch Out, I even remember, or I think it was Mario. You had to do this or that, twist your arm to move and jump and stuff like that. You just got tired of holding your arm out. Like as a kid with all the energy in the world, I was tired of holding my arm, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. I just don't want to. So this stuff was never cool to me. I never really cared about any of this stuff. Um, I think I got a Power Glove with you, Will, when we went to Toy Rat like 10 years ago.
Was that the box one you got?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember I got the Japanese Nintendo Pong, the
that's right.
orange
Yep.
Pong, and I think I got a Power Glove because I never had one.
Was that when you what was that one? You bought a system there too. Wasn't the Pong system? There's another one you bought there too, I think.
Yeah, probably that. We should go to that place again. It's still there. It's
Is
still
it?
there.
Sure, like everything costs $1 billion now.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
I would go. Let's plan it.
Let's do it. But it's kind of cool too that with every gaming console having all their retro stuff up, that it really hasn't killed the market. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like games, hard copies of games are still valuable.
Oh yeah.
Um, I was worried that when with the Nintendo eShop being introduced on the Wii and stuff like that, that okay, well, Balloon Fight's on there for NES for like 99 cents, so the cartridge won't be worth $20 anymore, but it still is. So that's good.
Yeah, it's just because, like, well, as time goes on, a lot of this stuff is becoming harder and harder to find, right?
Yeah. Love you,
So
buddy. Take care. Have fun. Say hi to the
even
ma'am.
even though like it is available digitally, I'm sure a lot of people are still buying it digital over like the physical carts anymore. It's such a niche thing. We were talking about this earlier too. Is just like digital gaming is the majority of gaming now, right?
Unfortunately, all I know is I bought Majora's Mask digitally on my Wii U, and I can't access it anymore.
Yeah,
So that's
that's.
bullcrap, man.
I
Right?
think both like Sony and Microsoft are trying to make it better, so everything kind of continues on later, like for the next consoles coming and everything. But even
Yeah.
like my 360 arcade games, there's a lot of them I just don't have access to anymore from my 360.
Well, a lot of that stuff is licenses expiring too, right? So,
Yeah, but like I still paid for it.
like, remember the Scott Pilgrim game? Remember that got
Mhm.
pulled off? And if you didn't have it on your hard drive, which most of us rotated games because what was it, a 20 and a 60 gig,
Oh
I
yeah,
think,
yep.
for the 360, right? So,
Oh no, there's a 2060, and I think they did eventually come out with 120.
right. But old school, there was two models,
Mhm.
and we would have to rotate our games out to make room for new stuff. So we'd take off a lot of the arcade stuff and then download the new stuff.
Yeah,
And then Scott Pilgrim, I can't remember what happened, but the license was gone all of a sudden. And that game, which was really great, I think they've re-released it since, but it was gone. And I'm like, I spent like $30 on that and whoosh, gone. Ghetto Finger, what's up, buddy? Greetings. Good to see you, my friend. Matt says Xbox and PlayStation are making it better, quotes, by boosting prices to play these games from the cloud and hope it isn't too laggy. What are your thoughts on that,
that
Will?
he's not wrong. Like, uh, I don't like it. I think we're still early on, but I know a lot of people who do subscribe and play to the cloud service games. But eventually, that's like the natural progression now, right? Like Netflix started this years ago, and
Yeah.
now we're getting the subscription service like Game Pass, and now the PlayStation Plus membership thing, whatever they call it. Like that's what it's going to eventually be. Is you'll just stream it from the internet like you do movies on Netflix and everything else nowadays, right? You don't own it because like nothing on Game Pass you own either. even though you can install it. You just stream it from the internet.
Same with PlayStation. You have the option to download it onto your hard drive or stream it. I've tried to stream a couple. Some of them are like Last of Us was pretty janky, so I just downloaded it.
Yeah.
And I have a hardwire connection.
Mhm.
So I was
Yeah,
just like, okay.
it's not dependent on your, well, there is some degree of your internet dependence on it, but I've heard it's more dependent on how close you are to the data server.
See,
So I don't know if they have them up here in Canada, which could be an issue for us. But
right. I don't know. And I understand too that you have to be constantly subscribed. So if you download Last of Us and then you cancel your PlayStation, let's just call it PlayStation Plus or whatever. You cancel that, it either gets locked out of your hard drive or they take it off your hard drive, which I get.
yeah,
I
because like you're subscribing to the service, and once you're no longer subscribed, you don't get it. Same with like the games with gold, which they're discontinuing now, and then the PlayStation Plus, those games you would get every month.
yeah.
As soon as you stop subscribing to that service, you lose access to those games.
Yeah. So it on paper, it looks like you have a huge library of 90 games. But if you
Mhm.
stop, all those games you got for free every month gone.
Yeah.
So
And that's
I
why like I moved a lot of my stuff to PC. Like Steam has proven over the last 20 some odd years they've existed that like everything's carrying over.
right. Yeah. Well, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft have to do that. They just have to, let's just use Nintendo for an example. They
Mhm.
just need to have a Nintendo account, right?
Yeah.
So every 5, 6 years when a new generation comes out, it doesn't matter. You can take everything. I mean, Xbox kind of does that with your achievement points, right? But
Xbox does it the best so far.
yeah,
Where like even some of your past purchases. So everything from the Xbox One era onwards should work in the current generation. It's just the 360 stuff and previous for digital purchases.
I mean, it always comes down to this digital versus physical with video games. Like it always comes up.
Mhm.
And I've said it time and again, if these companies would charge $10 less, you're going to eliminate physical completely. But I don't understand, except for convenience, that has to be the only thing. Why people will spend $80 on a digital version of the game when they could get it for $80 and you have a physical. There's no price difference. And you physically have the game, you own it, you can do what you want with it unless it's online only.
Yeah.
You know what I
Or
mean? I
even
don't get
then,
it.
like, well, a lot of games are just moving it to, even if you have the disc, you still have to either be online or something for it too now, right? We brought up recently Street Fighter 6. Outside of playing online, there's really no need to be online, but for whatever reason, you can install it off the disc, but you can't like do anything until it does all the updates. So like eventually 20 years from now, if you know when servers are shut down for that and it's done, if I want to put in my Street Fighter 6 physical copy, I won't be able to play it.
Yeah, that's literally a frightening thought to
So
me.
really,
But
what am I buying a disc copy for at that point? I might as well just get digital.
I like to physically have something to hold. It's just the human in me, I guess. I need to touch things. I need to. Do you know what I mean? Like that's just me. I don't think that's ever going to change, especially today when everyone is subscribed to Amazon Prime, so you can get on there. I looked up the Quarry the other day. The Quarry is Corey. The Quarry. I can't pronounce it right. It was $20 and it would be at my house tomorrow. So, I mean, the convenience is there a little bit, but you can get a physical copy to your house the next day. Sometimes on Amazon, you can get it the same day too. So, just
Yeah.
saying. I know it's an argument that you've been kind of digital for a while, but you still appreciate physical.
Yeah, like my console games, I'll always buy physical if I can.
Yeah.
But PC gaming, like there's no other choice really. You don't buy physical PC games anymore, right? Like everything's digital for PC.
Video games grow up. Ultima Exodus, finally, the first real role playing game. Look out, Starfield. Here comes Ultima Exodus. Nah, I'm good. I was never an Ultima guy. Ultima, I think, was the first RPG online. Ultima Online, I believe. Or
I
was
don't know.
EverQuest? Was EverQuest before Ultima? No, Ultima was first.
It gets a little hazy for me for there. I remember hearing of EverQuest first, and then I heard about other things, but I'm not
Right.
100% sure. I'm
I
sure
mean,
there's some like wonky point where it's like, oh, this game released like this date sometime earlier than this or whatever. But
this artwork's really not doing it for me. I think it's pretty terrible. FCI, I mean, where are they now?
not just
RIP.
for kids.
Miss you guys. Miss all the old games. American Sammy, we're going to bring you back. Tricks of the Trade. We got Blaster Master, Zanuck, Mega Man, Star Soldier. Oh, I love all the stains. It's amazing. Mega Man defeat the M boss. Dr. Wily's monster can be really nasty in Mega Man 1, but this
The
is a
fish
trick where
isn't
you
the
can
end boss.
easily cut him down to size. While battling Wily's evil creation, jump up and shoot the monster in his eye. Oh my god. No.
Why couldn't they show a picture of the actual boss though?
I think that is the fish, right? That
Is
tentacle
that
that's coming
Wily's last boss?
out. Monster can Dr. Wily's monster can really be nasty.
Oh, I thought it said it was like the last like.
Yeah, that little
Oh,
tentacle that's
okay.
coming out of the forehead has got a little eye
I
on
got
it.
you. Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
just
Yeah.
use Metal Man and you just kick its butt. Matt says, I played Ultima online. It was nice when you could get on and weren't surrounded by players trying to do bad things at night to get enough gold for better equipment. Yeah, there's always weirdos like that,
Oh
dude.
man.
Will and I played World of Warcraft for a long time, and we've ran into people like that are just bizarre.
My wife
That's
was one of
online,
those people.
and it's Will's wife Ashley. That's why we don't play with her anymore.
There
There's
was
another
people
one.
did that in Star Wars Galaxies. Do you remember that? Did you
Yeah,
ever play
because
Star Wars Galaxies? You did. You did play with me, I thought.
no, I played when it came out with like the greatest hits box set
Mhm.
version, which was basically meant the game was dead.
Yeah, so like when I played it, you would have people in cantinas and they'd have Twi'lek characters, right? And one of the traits, I don't know if it's specific for Twi'leks, I can't remember this anyways, but anyways, you could do dances.
Yeah.
So they would literally have like dancers in there and people would tip the money and then like they'd go to a back room and have like private dances. And I ran out of there real quick.
You're like, I just want to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
But there was only one Jedi. Remember that? It took the guy like 6 months to get it. Remember, you had to be visited by the old man's ghost. Remember
Yeah,
that?
so the whole thing it still annoys me to this day. But you had to become force sensitive, it was almost just a matter of luck. Something out in the world or like the galaxies was made for you to do where you had to become force sensitive, but they wouldn't tell you. So it could be literally somewhere you have to walk to a certain area on a
Wow,
planet at this time or something, and then all of a sudden, like, oh look, you became force sensitive. They made it very hard for it to
That's pretty
happen.
random, man.
But they didn't want just a bunch of Jedis running around, I guess, right? Which I can kind of see and
Because that would be,
understand.
fun.
Yeah, but I think they wanted to make the Jedi status unique and special. But if you
Well,
died as a Jedi, though, you lose it.
really?
Yep.
I mean, that was the lore, right? Because that was during the original trilogy, so there was no Jedi. So I get it.
Yeah.
Well, except if you're going into the Filoni universe. Anyway, no Star Wars, shish. No Star Wars.
We always
Moving
talk
on.
at some point, Star Wars comes up.
It does. It does. Disney Star Wars, where lightsabers mean nothing. Some more codes. There's tons of cheat codes here. Desert Falcon, Zanuck, Fantasy Zone, Double Dragon, Rocky, Ghostbusters. Oh my god. Top secret for Mega Man Boss Attack. Oh, it's showing you the order to go and beat which boss with which weapon. Oh, that castle, Wily's castle there. That's such a wicked graphic.
That's actually a really good tip. Like
Yeah.
knowing to go to the order for Mega Man, that's huge because that's like that makes the series so much easier if you know which powers to use for each level.
Matt, did you ever play Knights of the Old Republic? Or sorry, the Old Republic, the online one. I remember when we all got accepted into the beta. Oh, dude,
Oh
it
man,
was
it's
like
a big day.
Christmas. Did you get the email? Did you get the email?
Yep.
And we all played, and for whatever reason, it lasted about a month, and everybody just went like this. I
Do you
couldn't
remember? Do
figure
you
out
remember
why.
when I played the beta and you were over at my house and there was no water effects and I wrote them that message saying they need to add water effects and then eventually they had water effects.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can thank me for adding water effects to Star Wars: The Old Republic. That's what I'm saying.
I
That's
drove
it.
over to Will's house because he got the beta, and just to see it. I mean, this was like World of Warcraft with Star Wars, basically, right? So, but all the interactions you had with NPCs, it was all actual dialogue, and it was in the Old Republic era, which was great.
Mhm.
It was awesome. I remember
That game had so much potential. Apparently, a lot of people still play it.
the Malik fight at the end. I remember we were doing it. It was like a 4-man dungeon or whatever. I remember it was bugged. Maybe we had to throw a bomb at him or something, and it didn't work. Or
Yeah, big badass character, knock him down a freaking hole, and that's it. Like, oh,
Matt says, for a
thanks.
little, I lost interest because everybody was playing single player. Yeah, I mean, we would do dungeons as much as we could. Um, again, I mean, all these companies try it, right? Bethesda tried it for years, where they took their IPs and then made them online.
Mhm.
Varying degrees of success, I would say. But Guerrilla War is always, what is going on with Guerrilla War? These are still tips and tricks. Oh, see, here you go. This is what I was talking about.
Yeah. Walk up.
Do we need maps for Guerrilla War? I ask you.
Hold
Probably
up
not.
on the D-pad.
Dual scroll. Begin your battle behind enemy lines in the jungle.
You know, to be fair though, somebody put a lot of work into this, and it does
Sure.
look good.
Sure. And I would have definitely had this on my wall just as
Yeah,
like artwork. I 100% would have. I just think it's funny. More tricks.
all the
Jeez.
tricks. Galaxy boss attack.
Oh, here's more video cassettes, secret codes, and strategies for Double Dragon. Secret passwords for Rambo and Iron Tank. I mean, I can mock this stuff now, but without any internet, like this stuff would have been gold. And I never knew any places that had any of these.
I can't think I've ever seen the VHS things of these. I've saw books, like those thick books of cheat codes and hints and stuff.
Oh,
But
like the unauthorized guide to Nintendo games, like stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Those were great too.
Mhm.
Those unauthorized books. I like that. Top secret. What is this? Oh, this is how to win at stealth ATF, I guess. It was just Oh, FCI counseling. There you go for all your Ultima Exodus inquiries.
probably need it.
FCI, the game company, had their own hotline for their 6 games. Hey,
You
just
need it
saying.
for Lunar Pool. You need to
I
get this
can't sink the
angle.
8 ball. How do I sink the 8 ball?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oops. More top secret.
Wow,
Ultimate
there's a lot
Exodus.
of Ultima.
Yeah, this is sponsored by FCI. Ooh. Experience a new fantasy. Oh, this is an ad. Oh, look at this ad for Fantasy Star.
I think we saw that
Woo!
in the last one.
So good. It's so
Because
good.
I remember asking, why is she holding her shield and sword like that?
That's right.
She, I like some of the artwork here. I just don't think the way they are positioned looks good.
Yeah, I definitely like the Japanese art style better. 100%. The North American versions of these characters, and I talk about it in my Genesis video with the cover for Strider, which is
Mm,
god awful. Look, the guy looks like Phil Donahue, but like the Japanese Strider is the Japanese Strider in the game. He's
yeah.
very anime. And then I guess they figured maybe it wasn't going to fly in North America. I don't know, but they just made this horrible cover. That's what this looks like. Like this art's pretty not great.
No. I can kind of see what they're going with, but I just don't understand when
The
somebody
poses.
drew this, like what is they trying to do for the female there?
Yeah. It's weird. Matt says they used to release novels of cheat codes. I think I had the first 4. Yeah,
Oh
those
yeah,
were
those
great.
like big ones.
Yeah, I had a
Those things are
couple of those
huge.
unauthorized secrets to the NES. It was great. Altered Beast, Top Secret. Well, there's a lot of like strats in this issue. Vigilante. Look at this. They have hints for Vigilante, and the TurboGrafx is not even out yet. I mean, that's pretty hardcore, man. TV Sports Football for the Amiga. I believe this also came in on TurboGrafx later.
That looks pretty. Like that screenshot they had looks pretty good still.
It's good, man. Yeah, Coach looks great. The Dual Test Drive 2 for the IBM. This is one EGM briefly covered PC stuff too. They went away. They just stuck with consoles, but I think they were still trying to find their footing here. But I'm glad they did. This is cool. And obviously all these screenshots, like computers were on another level. I still remember the screenshots for the Rocketeer for the Amiga. It was just like blew me away. It made Nintendo look like a little baby game.
They were just so big and bulky, and trying to get everything set up on them was such a pain.
There's your Starfield. There you go.
Ooh,
Galactic
Galactic.
Conqueror.
That's what I'm going to be doing after this.
Conquering the Galactic.
Yeah.
Mindscape. Oh, here we go. So yeah, so this is what we kind of played with before Game Boy. This is not Tiger. No. You know what? I don't remember
Official
these.
Konami one.
These are
I had
Konami
one of
ones.
those.
Really?
Yeah, I
Oh,
had the Turtles one specifically because I was big on Ninja Turtles growing up. I
I
used to
didn't
have
remember
another
this.
one too that was my dad got it from the Sears catalog for Christmas one year. And it was like one of those big ones. It was for Top Gun, and it had like the flight stick on it, and you'd move back and forth and it would light up and
Whoa.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
But it
These are
was just like the
cool.
display looked like that, right? So it's just like the little cells and they just move around on the screen.
Yeah. These were great. You would often see these, like kids would bring them to school and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, it's a good novelty. I would definitely, if I saw any of these, I would pick them up at a reasonable price. Look at the Contra one on the far right. Like that would be crazy to have.
These things are awful. Like
Yeah.
anybody
Well, yeah.
looking up, like any younger people watching this video or here right now, like if you were to buy one of these, you'd be like, "What the hell is this? And why were they playing with it?" But when we were
Yeah.
kids, this is all we had.
So the notion that Nintendo was going to bring out one of these where you could interchange the games, and I mean, obviously the graphics, the graphics move and stuff like that. It's not just these cells that light up, right? But
Yeah,
they're
because
actual
that's all
little
it
games.
was, right? Like it was a stagnant background, and then
Yeah.
they'd have like little cells that would turn on and off like a digital watch.
Like LCD stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was pretty bad, but for the time, pretty good.
yeah. Again, that's like all we had. What else were we supposed to do?
Go outside. Pff, give me a break. Do you play video games? Then you must subscribe to U.S. National Video Game Team's Electronic Gaming Monthly.
Woo! I definitely had a subscription at one point. This and Nintendo Power and Game Pro. I remember it not being very expensive back in the day either.
Oh, there's you right there, buddy.
Yeah,
This like
invasion of the Nintendoids.
if you wore any of this stuff, you're dead. Like you're seriously, you were gonna get it.
I think I had that Mario hat.
That's cool. I like the sweater. I like the bag too with the secret video game VHS kind of hanging out. Is this Homer's? What is this? Homer's. It's like a game
Homers.
store, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah, Homer's.
Taito's Superman. Oh, there's like an actual read up or editorial on a game here.
Yeah, it was like thrown to the like back page with no pictures. It's like they just threw that in there for the end. Oh wow, maybe not. It's a full write up.
Wow.
Top Score Club. This is always great. This is always a great addition. They put in every issue.
Any
And
celebrities in
again,
this one?
how did you prove it though? You would have had to take a picture, right?
I would think so, right? Like the whole Billy Mitchell thing, you'd either have to send in a tape or a picture, I would assume.
You
For
can't. You
information,
can't
yeah.
just say.
For information on how to submit high scores to the U.S. National Video Game Team, send a stamped self-addressed envelope to. There you go. Yeah, so they would send stuff in.
Matt says I subscribed to Nintendo Power, but never any of the others. I didn't need to. My dad had a convenience store. Oh, dude,
Oh, lucky.
so awesome. I mean, that's great. I was out. We were at the mall couple weeks ago, and I went into a Shoppers Drug Mart, which is like a Rexall. I don't know what you guys have in the States.
Yeah, it's a pharmacy
It's a
essentially with
pharmacy,
like
yes.
other
Sorry, it's a
things. Yeah.
pharmacy. And I went to the magazine section. Not one video game magazine. Nothing. Not even like Best of Mario or anything. And I was really sad. I kind of knew there wouldn't be anything, but not one, man. Get a
You know,
free.
I've never thought about that, but they still have magazines, do they?
Do they have a few still?
Yeah. I've been to Shoppers recently, but I don't remember looking at magazines.
Maybe I got unlucky, but I didn't see nothing, man. There are plenty of like music magazines, skateboarding, good to
Yeah.
go, but
Huh. Wow, who's buying skateboarding magazines?
skateboarders.
Yeah, but like you know what I mean though, right? Like I feel like what you're going to get in that magazine you'd find tenfold on the internet.
well, there's still lots of people that like to have that in their hand and take it to the park, take it with them. I don't know,
Like
man.
their phone?
I just feel like, especially with a skateboarder, a tablet and or phone, a little bit more delicate. You know what I mean? Who
Yeah.
knows?
Does Game Informer still have a magazine?
Ooh, last I knew with EV, it went fully digital.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one's for your dad too. Lee Trevino's Fighting Golf by SNK. Never
Wait,
understood why it was a fighting golf game, but there you go.
I was curious. Do they actually like fight?
Oh, they're back, baby. Oh, here's like the ultimate spread.
Oh God, why? I want to buy one of these controllers just to have now.
I mean, I feel like we almost should.
Like I'm gonna put it in the back cabinet here.
Yeah, a B shoe.
Like it has to be the Zoomer. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna find one.
What about the Zinger in the top? The Zinger actually has the Nintendo seal of quality.
$80? No.
Retro Mags. Oh, and this is where we got the PDF from Retro Mags Online. There you go. That was a lot of fun. That was EGM issue number 2. Hey, wasn't that fun, Will?
That was a load of fun. Actually, I enjoy looking back on these, just having to talk about older games.
Yeah. So it looks like next Wednesday we'll be coming at you with our not review, but our discussion on Double Dragon, and I'm excited because I've never seen it.
I remember liking it as a kid, but after looking stuff up about it, I almost feel like this is gonna be worse than Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I don't think it's good, man, at all. Matt says $8.99 to $15.99. It could be yours.
Yeah, I think those are like the joysticks. I was looking at the Zoomer, and it looks like $50 to $100.
But the Zinger is for NES.
Oh, I could use it on my NES. It's a B shoe Zinger.
You should find a way to use the Zinger for Starfield. You have to beat Starfield with the Zinger.
Oh, this thing looks so bad. $15.99 Canadian.
Well, why don't you tell everybody in chat land where they can find you?
I am here on YouTube under at Willie Low. I have a lot of shorts on stuff that I stream on Sundays, where we're playing a lot of Subnautica and soon to be No Man's Sky. And tomorrow, actually, I have my first. I don't know how to say it. First long form content coming out. I've been playing Starfield off stream and been recording stuff. So my first part of my playthrough of Starfield will be officially launching tomorrow on my channel.
That's awesome.
I had a lot of fun. Yeah, it was fun editing it. Otherwise, you can catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Willie Low is where I stream 2 or 3 times a week. But that may change. We'll see.
And my streams start tomorrow, guys. The game streams 10 o'clock a.m. Thursday through Sunday. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for some Starfield action. That's it. So go play some games, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.